What's up, legends? Must be time for a channel update. G'day everybody, welcome back. Yeah, just thought I'm on the ride for the November short ride with the Riders of Tasmania, and we're trying out the newly attached rear mounted GoPro. There's nothing behind me. But I thought I'd just touch base on a couple of things. One of them, there's a little bit of a theme going in the comments section on the one I put up a week or two ago with where I got pulled over by the police about undertaking. I just want to try and clear a few things up about that. I've driven overseas in Europe and in the United Kingdom, and the Europeans very, very different in terms of their attitude towards undertaking. Essentially, they won't do it, and they despise you when you do it. So if you're sitting in the fast lane and you have somebody come up behind you in an AMG Mercedes or a Porsche or whatever, and they're wanting to go faster than you are, they will sit on your bumper and flash their lights until you get out of the way. Even if there is no other car on the highway, they will not break that highway code where you do not undertake. Now in Australia, it is an accepted practice, and the law says, well, it does down here anyway, that at any speed limit exceeding 80 kilometres an hour, you must remain in the left lane unless you're overtaking. But sadly, that isn't adhered to. Now, the reason they have speed limits is because we as a society have to walk as slow as our slowest person in order to be able to keep bloody moving. So we introduce speed limits based on line of sight, road condition, camber, bloody surface, the number of driveways and side streets and all the rest of all these engineers have to put in a bit of effort to establish a speed limit. And but one of the we could all travel a lot faster than that, and we should all bloody well be allowed to. But one of the reasons why they want everybody moving at the same speed is because of vehicle interaction. So if everybody's travelling along at the same speed, theoretically there is no interaction. We're just all happily in our own little safe space moving along together. But sadly, you get these, you know, if you speed, you increase the number of interactions. But by the same token, if you drive too slow, you force interactions. So if you're riding over the speed limit, you know, say you're doing 20 kilometres an hour above the speed limit, everybody carries on about it. You get booked, you get fined. If you're doing 30 kilometres an hour or more, you can have your vehicle confiscated and instant loss of licence in Tasmania. And yet, you can get some arsehole on the bloody highway doing, say, 80 in a 110 zone, and nobody bats an eye. And 9 times out of 10, that dickhead, and that's what you are, mate, if you're one of them, that dickhead wants to turn off to the right somewhere 10 kilometres down the road. So he'll position himself in the right lane and screw everybody else because he's frightened that he mightn't be able to move over. That's what happens, I swear to God. And the irritating thing is, now I'm originally from Queensland, and they've got some reasonable motorways up there. That M1's about 5 or 6 lanes wide each direction. know, between Brisbane and the Gold Coast, it's 110 limit, or 70 mile an hour if you're watching in black and white. And if you want to do 110 kilometres an hour, you better get your ass over in that left lane and stay the hell out of everybody else's way. That's the way it is. In fact, but you know, in Hobart, it's if you want to do 110 kilometres an hour, even if it's in the right lane, you are made by those muppets around you to feel as though you're some sort of a reckless hoon. Like, here we are, we're doing 60, we are doing 40 kilometres an hour below the posted speed limit, almost 50%, and not one of these people give a shit about that. I'll tell you how bad it is. I used to travel quite a bit for work, and I had to go up to Queensland for something, and I arrived at the Gold Coast airport, and I got off the plane, walked to the hire counter and gave the guy my Tasmanian driver's licence and my company credit card, and he asked me if I needed a satellite navigation or... Oh, thank God he's using the turnouts. He's using the turnouts and sped up. Yeah, he wanted to know if I needed a sat-nav or a Refidex or a UBD map, book of maps. And I told him, no mate, I used to be a local. And he said to me, he said, do you know, he said, I try to not be, try not to sound condescending or anything. He said, but we have had Hobart drivers, and Tasmanian drivers in general, arrive at the hire counter, collect their car, drive along Kingsford Smith Drive, get to the highway, come off the highway at the next exit, come back, hand the keys back, and take the train. And it can be intimidating if you're not used to that. If you're, you know, used to the country driving kind of. Yeah, if you're used to these laid-back country kind of driving. But I thought that was a bit of a testament to the lack of confidence and the lack of exposure, I guess, to Tasmanian drivers. So yeah, in my opinion, if you travel below the posted speed limit and you're in the wrong lane, I'm going to undertake it. And a lot of us, most Australians do, and no one bats an eye. Certainly not like they do in Europe. Now, another thing about that video, which I didn't go into, I'd been to a mate of mine's place earlier that day. Move over, Mel. I'd been to a mate of mine's place earlier that day, and on the run back I'd been held up behind a lot of very frustrating and slow drivers. One of them, we were doing 50 kilometres an hour in a 100 zone behind a bloke towing a trailer full of shit for the longest time, and I was getting frustrated, it's fair to say. I did overtake that car on the bridge, which the police officer did mention to me. He said, I could see you were... No, I'll get to that story in a minute. Anyway, he yeah, on the bridge, I mean, you know what motorcycles are like, and particularly I found with these carburetors, this thing engine brakes like a mofo. So you just want to be able to maintain speed, and that bloke on the bridge that I overtook, it's an 80 zone, and he was doing 60, and then he'd do 80, and then he'd do 70, and then he'd do 75, and then he'd do 65. He's up and down like a hooker's pants. So I got the irrits, I got the bracing bits, and I went around him. But I sat back on 80, and I just kept moving at a steady pace. But that police officer, he saw me do that in the mirror. Now when we got to the highway, it opened up to 110 zone, dual lane, and he sat in the right lane doing 100. He baited me, and he stayed there, and then the second I got a chance to go around him, I did, and I actually went up to about 120, and then I rolled back to 110 and sat there, or 115, somewhere around there. The difference between 110 and 115 is about a 2% throttle opening time. I wouldn't even argue that. Anyway, when he pulled me over, he said, I knew you would do that. He said, I could tell that you weren't all that happy about sitting behind that guy on the bridge. So he knew I'd do it. So he baited me. And then I was looking in the mirror and I thought, why is this ranger chasing me? And I thought maybe he's pissed off because I undertook him, because he moved into the left lane after I went around him, and then he moved back into the right lane and sped up, and I thought he's going to come and have a go at me. I don't need that shit, I'm out of here. And he just kept coming, and I kept whining on the throttle, and then he lit his lights up. So as far as I was concerned, I did get away with it, but I probably no, I can't blame other people. It was my decision to wind the throttle on. But at the end of the day, I sort of felt a bit cheated that he baited me. Yeah, and this is a perfect example again. We've come down here, everyone's on the brakes because there's a car parked. We have gone from Richmond all the way to here, and only once, for a distance of about 150 metres, have I been able to do the posted speed limit. And I like to ride fast. And if I can't ride fast, I at least want to do the goddamn speed limit. Because you're riding slow, you're driving slow, you're on the brakes, you're causing extra vehicle interactions, you take people by surprise because the closing speed is that much different. In my opinion, you should all be bloody locked up and lose your licences, and I should be credited. So if I've travelled 10 kilometres, 20 kilometres below the speed limit, 20% below the speed limit, I should then be allowed to travel another 10 kilometres at 20% above the speed limit. Is that fair? Should I get speeding credits? I ask you good people. And then you get the guys on there, you poor buggers over there in the UK and places like that, where you just got bloody, you can't move without being booked. You've got bloody congestion coming out your ears. You've got, I mean, I can't even imagine. In fact, in terms of population, if you put it in perspective, if Australia, the entire country of Australia, had the same population density as the United Kingdom, everybody in Australia would live in Tasmania. Wrap your head around that, Aussies. Anyway, rant. It pisses you off, man. Look at this string of bikes and cars behind this one prick up the front here. To have vehicle interaction, you're going to have accidents. 60 in 100 zone. I want to kill the clown at the front. And it's not because I'm impatient, I like riding fast. That's why I ride motorcycles. That's why most of us probably ride motorcycles. We like to be able to build along at a moderate, safe, ride to the conditions pace. I guess it's all relative, isn't it? I mean, here I am complaining. The sun's shining, I'm out with my mates, bike's running well. But hey, it is a pet peeve of mine. I am going to whinge about it. So you're going to have to put up with it. Anyway, we'll say bye for now. Don't forget to like, subscribe and comment, and I'll catch you next time on Andy's Motorcycle Obsessions. Bye for now. Someone go and chase down that Camry and run it off the damn road. No. No.
I can read your fault.
Oh. What a 50, 60 kilometres an hour in a 100 zone?
They can't have mirrors, they can't look behind them.
I want to run it off the damn road. Anyway.
Beautiful day.
Beautiful day.